Today, we are on Microsoft Flight Sim 24. And if you're asking yourself why, well, that's because I love to play pretend pilot as much as I do racing driver. We are taking this Airbus A321 from Ivato International Airport in Madagascar, departing east over the Indian Sea to the paradise island of Mauritius. Today's flight will take roughly 1 hour and 30 minutes with a full capacity of 220 passengers on board. With clear weather, both at our departing and arrival airport, we will be able to see some beautiful views. So there we have it. I've already done the check of the airplane and everything seems perfectly okay. Let's get in here and then turn the thing on. So first things we are going to do is get that external power on. Right, and basically we just got to extinguish all of these off lights. And then we'll move up and get our navigation aids on. Perfect. Gonna move down a bit and just get our lights ready for the passengers boarding. So no smoking, seat belts. We'll just put strobe and nav lights on for now. We'll come back to that. So while we wait for this APU to switch on and power up, I'm going to ask a few things of you. First one of these is please subscribe to the channel. It's completely free and you could unsubscribe at any point. Also, if you do watch this video all the way through and do end up liking it, do give it that big thumbs up. So now we're just starting this APU. Now the first thing I want to show you is we have already got a flight plan loaded. It is on SimBrief. If you don't know about SimBrief, there are thousands of videos out there explaining what SimBrief is, but this is essentially just a way to get a flight plan loaded for us. Now this flight plan is a legit flight plan. It is run by Air Mauritius. I think that's how you say it. I have got my IRS set to align, but anyway, let's go over to here and check our flight plan. First thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to come into this init page, request the data that we need, and boom, there we go. Flying from Ivato International all the way to Mauritius, whatever airport that is, I cannot remember. Now our flight plan is also loaded in, so I'm just going to check for any problems in the flight plan, which there doesn't seem to be. There seems to be an issue with this, so we're just going to pop it on arc, get our constraints, come over to our tablet and just check. So we're at 1014 for our QNH. We'll set that both on pilot and co-pilot. Next thing I want to be doing is, I know we've got, I think we're flight level of 33,000 feet, so I'm just going to set this in the autopilot just so that when we take off we can just get the plane where we need to get it, and we're already set for our cruise altitude. Boom, sorted. Now let's go back to the overhead panel. APU is now available, so we're going to get that APU bleed on to provide some electrics to the plane and bleed some air to the engines. Now the APU has started, we can disconnect our ground power and everything else is still fine there. So, flight plan looks good. Let's go into our takeoff. So, with this new game, it's very, very easy. I'm going to get our payload, and I'm just going to apply the payload. We'll do it instantly, just for the purpose of this video not being fairly long. And now we know everything's loaded, we can close all the stuff. Right, do have a zero fuel weight of 71.1. And a zero fuel weight centre of gravity 29.6. So if we enter them, 71.1, 71.1, and I've already forgot what the centre of gravity was, 29.6. We're just going to click the block fuel, 6.8. Although, for this, I am going to take a little bit more fuel. So let's work that out again. It's fairly the same. So we're all good here. Get the flight directors on. Boom, boom. And we are pretty much ready for a pushback and to get onto this runway and take off. So let's do this then. Let's get on our ground control. Think about our pushback. Oh, actually, first things first, let's do our performances. We might need to know what it is to take off. Simply coming in here, we'll sync it all up. Calculate, we're using a flap 1 takeoff today. Sorted, and we'll send that over to the flight computer and we'll confirm it. Perfect. Right, we'll select flaps 1 now. We'll also arm the speed brake. And when the engines come on, we'll put the auto brake on, just providing we don't have any incidences when we take off. Sorted. Now I'm happy to call for a pushback and get these engines started. Alright, so let's initiate this pushback. And while we're doing that, go into ignition, engine 2 on. And we'll just wait for this to come to avail. Also, let's check our lights. So we pop our beacons on. Landings are fine. We've got taxi lights on the nose. Gonna arm the doors. Come down here, arm the cockpits. We are pretty much ready to go. Essentially, we're waiting for this to stay avail on the N1. Once this is done, we can then start engine 1. Now, I'm not a pilot by any means, but I can sort of fly these to a degree. Not going to be the best flight you'll ever see, but we will get off the ground and touch down without any trouble. There we go. So we've got a veil on the M1. Let's do engine 1 start, and we'll wait for that to come up to speed. So while we wait for this engine, what I'm going to do, we will bring up some of the charts of where we're flying today. Now, I cannot remember what the arrival airport is, which is that one. Boom. Oh, there's something I missed. Tragically, this could have gone very wrong. So we are departing runway 11, which might have helped if I'd have set this right. Yes, I will check off the, and then destination. We are going to be arriving on the ILS 14 on the ramp to E. Start. Sorted. Now we'll check. There we have. We've got a discontinuity. I can never say that word. Discontinuity. Boom. Sorted. Now I just want to work out this bake off. See if anything's changed. I think it's all fairly the same. Yep, it was all the same. Anyway, so we are good to go. Both engines available. So we'll just go back to normal mode. We are basically ready now. Taxi to the runway position. So what we'll do, get into the runway. We'll prepare for the takeoff. We will take off, get to about 1,000 feet, pop the autopilot on, get to our cruise altitude. And whilst we're in cruise, I will then be able to do a couple of more things on the flight computer in ready for our approach into Mauritius Airport, which should provide us with some beautiful, beautiful scenes, mega views. Weather-wise, looks like we're okay weather-wise, nothing to worry about. Now let's see if we can turn this big bird around. Big bird around. Right, we are basically ready for takeoff. There's a couple of things I want to check here. I'm going to set our auto brake to max. We're going to check the cabin. We are going to test the takeoff config. Everything is good to go. So, let's get on with the takeoff. Auto go. Try and maintain this center load if we can, but this is me, so anything could happen. We're looking at about a 152, I believe that says V1 rotate speed. There is our V1, and there is our rotate. We have a positive climb, gear up.
Antananarivo approach Airbus 5 Romeo. Zulu Echo Foxtrot is type Airbus A321 1 miles east of Avado, 4,400 feet. Request flight follow. Squawk 2625 Airbus.
Do not
Echo
know
Foxtrot.
why it gave us that weird little squiggle. So we can now come back to the climb detent and start getting this plane a bit more level. Auto thrust is on, autopilot engaged. That is all basically done now. A few things to do on approach, but we can now pretty much just let this plane fly itself the way we need it to go. I mean, by the looks of it, he's going to follow this weird little path that it's made for us. Those orange lines there means we can put our flaps up. The flaps are good now. We'll just let the autopilot do its thing. We look on the flight computer's flight plan. 500, I think that's nice, 583 nautical miles to our destination. But we'll just keep an eye on this and we'll let the plane fly itself all the way to our destination. So another one, apparently at 10,000 feet, I did read that, we could turn our nose lights off. Strobes are on, nav lights are on. Not necessary, but hey ho, there we go. Also, we're being told now we can pop this out, get it onto standard. I think we'll also do the same with our co-pilot. And as we know in rally, you're only as good as your co-pilot. We have now hit our cruising altitude of 33,000 feet. There's a couple of things that we're going to want to do in preparation for our arrival, and that is making sure all this is in the flight computer and that we are ready when the time comes to land. So we've just got to pop over here to our approach phase and we can figure it in. Figure it in? We can fit it in. I believe the QNH was this, which is we've got there. Now we've got our temp and our dew points, which is 27 degrees and 21 dew points. Not that that matters, we just need to know the temps and now our speed and wind direction. So 90 degree wind at 9 knots. Make sure we put it in like this at 09. No, I've done that wrong. There's always something I do wrong. At 09, let's just put 9. See if that works. Oh, there we go. We'll take it, we'll do the full flap landing config. And for the rest, I'm just going to leave. This will now give us our landing speeds, which is 133. Seems a bit low, but I'll trust it. So that is all we need to do, really, at our cruise level. So now we can just enjoy the flight. While we're here, we will just have a look at how the plane is reacting to stuff. So, engines are looking good, APU is off, bleed is looking good, the air conditioning is working, cabin pressure is fine, all the doors are unlocked, electrics are looking okay, wheels are up, hydraulics are fine, flight controls we know work, fuel, looks like we're burning the right amount, yes and yes. Perfect, perfect. There we go. And status, obviously normal. Right, we can basically now just let the plane fly. It annoys me when it does this. So, let's go into our plan. Not our plan, sorry, our arc and our flight plan. Let's just have a look to see. We look okay so far. Constraints are on, so we know where we are. But 90 nautical miles left to our next waypoint. It's quite far away, but then it all comes in very fast. Top of descent is around here, but I won't be able to see anything until we get there. So what we'll do now is, now we've got this up, we know we are coming in on the ILS 14. Basically, we're coming in from sort of this direction down onto the runway. So essentially, we will intercept certain points here, and we need to be at 3,200 feet to intercept. So providing we are there, we will catch the glide slope and the plane will come down nicely. I am unsure yet whether I'm going to just let the plane auto land or whether I'm going to do it myself. Lots can change between now and arrival. So we're about 30 nautical miles away from our decel point. Now, I'm not going to decel us too much. I'm going to pop us down to 10,000 feet initially, so we don't descend too much and be too low by the time we get into over the land. There is some quite heavy constraints there. Obviously, this won't descend until I tell it to, so it's just set there ready for when we hit that decel point. I can knock it down and we will start to descend down to 10,000 feet, and from there things will start to pick up pace as we have got lots of things to do to get things right, make sure the approach is right, make sure the plane is safe and stable before we even attempt our landing. So our decel point is marked by this mark here. When we get past it, we will pop out the knob on the autopilot, and it will start to descend to 10,000 feet. So we know flight level changing to 10,000 feet. Whilst we do that, we'll set up our overhead panel. Going to get the taxi lights because we will be at 10,000 feet. And we'll just leave everything else. No smoking and seatbelt lights are on auto, so we ain't going to worry about that. But we are now in a descent, thrust idle, down to 10,000 feet. But at some point, we do need to start switching on and making sure that this plane is set up ready for us to come in and land. As you can see, that is the island of Mauritius. It will be coming in at some point and landing somewhere over here, roughly speaking. In fact, what we will do, we will just set this straight down, initially to 4,000, and then we'll go down to 3,200 when we get onto final approach. Now remember, I am a beginner at all this. Well, not a beginner, I somewhat know what I'm doing, and also somewhat don't know what I'm doing. So a lot of this is just guessing, a lot of guesswork. So now there's a lot of hilly land over in Mauritius, so we just got to be careful that we're not going over to the terrain too much. Now, with it being such a clear, perfect day, I think I will just hand fly this down. What we're going to do, we're going to go medium auto brakes, the landing, on the speeds, and very shortly we can start deselling this plane, ready to land at the airport. Bit of turbulence there by the looks of things. Plane got a bit wobbly. Not sure if it's windy or not. Double check the weather over here. Right, that's taking a while to update. That's not good. That is not good. Seems very windy now. As our tablet doesn't appear to be working. That is not good. We need to start descending a hell of a lot quicker. But once we get to this waypoint, I will then activate approach mode, and we can start looking at getting this plane ready to land. So now the seat belts have come on for our passengers, so they'll be sat down ready for us to. But after this turn, we will activate approach mode. Let the plane level out a little bit. Oh, it's approach mode activated. Let's get our ILS on, and we'll just get this, the QNH that originally I did see on there and the plane was set up for. Hope we get to this 39,000 feet by this point, otherwise we're going to be a bit high to where we need to be. The auto thrust and the autopilot will do a very good job now of just guiding this plane down. There you go, you can hear the engine starting to rev up a bit. we're coming in, and basically with this ILS, what we're going to be doing, let me just turn down the range on this. These magenta diamonds, once this goes across, captures there, we will get, I believe, the glide slope. I can't remember exactly, but we'll figure it out. But as you can see, there is our arrival runway. Getting dark now. Let's get our landing gear down. Let's get the flaps down. First lot of flaps, get this plane slowed down. So we are on the localizer now, and we're also on the glide slope. Just need this plane to slow very much so. Take a lot of flaps, we need to broke the speed there. Let's double check to see if we did. Nope, we're good. We are on this glide slope very nicely though. Although we've left it a bit late to get this plane slowed down.
1,000.
I'm unsure whether the sim rate has been turned up, because I was messing around with it to try and get the sim rate up, and this appears quite fast, but this could just be me. Now I might just let this auto land here because there is a lot going on.
Squawk 3575 Airbus Zulu Echo
Right, we are now
Foxtrot.
full flat configuration. Landing gear is down. 2 red, 2 white on the pappy, so we're at perfect glide slope.
400.
400 feet. So yep, we're going to auto land this plane.
300.
Just as I don't trust myself. Because I'd always make a mistake somewhere. But we will get
200.
ready with the idle and the reversers. It's probably a lazy way of landing the plane.
100.
But it's safe.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
Yeah, that sim rate was heavy. Reversers. And we got the plane slowed at 80 knots. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now that sim rate was definitely very, very high. Or we just came in very, very fast. Either way, we're probably in trouble for that. And there we go, parking brake engage. Let's get this plane off. But yeah, thank you for joining me today. That was just a short flight between Madagascar and Mauritius, I think that's how you say it. But yeah, this is just one video. Most of these now will go over to the second channel. So if you are interested in this sort of stuff, or you just like a bit of the comfort of flying, head over to that channel, subscribe to it, and make sure you check out the videos that will be coming out over there. But as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.